Okay, and welcome everybody to today, our Pathways to Open Source series, where we'll be talking about an introduction to Aspen Discovery. My name is Jessie Zarrow, and I am joined by Bill Kessler and Jordan Fields. And we are excited to talk to you today about all things Aspen Discovery. The first thing we always like to talk about is just a quick overview of what makes Aspen Discovery so great. And those are the goals that keep our team running from day to day, working with our libraries and making sure that everyone's voice is heard and the experience for our users and our patrons and our customers are maximized. So the first goal is to make sure that their experience has deep integrations with all library technologies. You're going to see some really, really cool features today where we show integration with events, Library of Things, customizations for special holidays, and even some archival and database integrations. We get really excited when we get to show you all the cool things that our libraries are doing. And this just comes back to goal number one, making sure that all of those services, those subscriptions, those databases, everything that your library has, we want to make sure is discoverable within Aspen. The second is to maximize user engagement with the library. So whether you have a customer or patron that walks in that front door every week, or you have the ones that are just using everything from that mobile device. We all live there. We want to make sure that each one of our users has access to the information they need. We also want to make sure that we connect every user with personalized and accessible information. So whether they're a mobile-based patron or they're coming in that front door, we just want to make sure that they get a personalized interaction. We'll log into our account today where you can see just how easy it is to make that specialization for each one of your partners. And then finally, empowering our library administrators. I know Bill has a couple of good ones in here that we're going to show off where you can just see how great and easy it is to make sure that you can give that branding and bring in all of the great features that your library has right into Aspen Discovery. So now what we'll do is we're going to start by showing off just some of our favorite libraries that we have here. The first one we're going to start with is Cuyahoga County Public Library in Ohio. They are using Koha on the back end. And some of the really cool things that we love that they've done here is bringing in just some of the customizations that they've worked on for a really long time for things like their curated collections. You can see right on the front page from their browse categories. Browse categories in Koha in Aspen Discovery are a way for you to highlight different topics and lists and ways for you to say what's coming or talk about cool things that are happening or viewing in the library. So we can see right here, we've got adults, teens, kids and families, and just a really neat way for you to come in here. We're all getting excited about Halloween coming up pretty soon, and I think each one of them that we have some type of either spooky reads or creepy crawlers or goosebumps that we can come in here and see all of that information. So just giving each one of those titles a quick highlight. I'm also going to do a quick search in here to show you Aspen's powerful integration. So we're going to do just a quick search for pumpkin. Got Halloween on the mind today. And you can see it gives us predictive text. So whether your user can't remember the title itself or the series or even how to spell the author's last name, they will get this predictive text that will give them some suggestions. In this case, we're just going to do a general search for pumpkin and bring back some of those results. So here you can see we're getting results for pumpkin's titles. We can see the grouping together of those works, so multiple formats that are available, pumpkin soup. And then as we scroll down a little bit further, we can see a Discover More section. This highlights other results that may come in. So with Cuyahoga, they have Attend with Communico integrated so we can see events. So we can see there's a pumpkin party for the kiddos on Friday, October 27th. We can also see that there's a teen craft night for yarn pumpkins. So not only are we getting results within the search that show us titles that we may be able to read, listen, or watch, but now we can also see events. You'll also notice there's a third result in there for a list that covers some young adult New York Times bestsellers. So again, just a really great way to bring all of that information in. Aspen makes it very easy for users to narrow down the results. Administrators can customize what facets are shown here over on the left-hand side, and this makes it really easy for users to come in. So let's just say I had a little one, and maybe I was looking for some toys that are related to pumpkins. I can come in here, use that facet, apply it, and now I can see that some of their pumpkin doll houses are available to play with during this Halloween season. So this is just a really neat way to be able to engage with your users, no matter what formats or availables that you have available within the system. You can bring all of that information in. The next one we're going to show off is Maine Consortium. The Maine Library Alliance is using Polaris on the back end and Aspen Discovery on the front. They're a large group of libraries in New Jersey. And one thing that we love about what Maine has done is they've really empowered their libraries to be able to come in and integrate all of the great things that they have to offer. But they've also created templates where it allows them to come in and highlight and show off just what's available. So if we look at the main landing page here, we can see some of our browse categories that allow the user to come in. They can navigate through the system. If we check on lessons in chemistry, we can see that there's multiple formats available within the system, what's available on the shelf, what's checked out. Now, what's nice about Aspen is it's built for consortiums. So it allows other libraries within the system to give their own look and feel. So if we come over here to Riverdale Public Library, they are part of the Maine Library Alliance, and they have a different look and feel. I know Bill really loves the customized headers, so we can see here, this is one that they've developed and implemented here, so we can see that right on their main landing page. And if we scroll down a little bit, you'll notice that they do have some very similar browse categories that the Maine Consortium has, but they also have some of their own. So again, this is just a really great way where you can bring in that information, but customize it for your users. If we look at lessons in chemistry here, you'll notice that the language changes a little bit. When we looked at the main page, we saw that there were titles available. When we come over here and we're actually on Riverdale's site, it tells you if their copies are available or checked out. So it gives their patrons the opportunity to take available of titles that may be available in other parts of the consortium. This allows them to come in, place a hold, or maybe they're okay with an eContent title and they can jump into one of those ebooks or e-audio titles within the system. Our next example here we're going to show off is Payson Library. Payson Library is in Utah, and they're using Koha on the back end and Aspen Discovery on the front. They have a great staff there, small, but they are amazing. And Candace, who's one of the librarians there, is very interactive with the staff. And you can see they have a beautiful header here that's also changing and showing some creepy lightning and haunted library as the user comes here and explores what's available within the system. They've created web pages directly in Aspen. So that's another feature that's part of Aspen Discovery of what we call Web Builder. So you'll see here on our menu up top, we have options to jump into the Kids Corner, which just shows us maybe some new titles that are in the system, Halloween and fall books that are ready, and of course, any upcoming events at the library. So with Aspen's powerful web builder, you can come in and customize that for your library. This is a great one to check out. So whether you're looking at the teens or the tweens, they've done a really nice job customizing it so users can come in here and just see all of the resources that are available within the system.
Yes, before you move on, Jordan, can you comment just a little bit on these custom headers folks make? You know, what control they have, what we help with. And Jordan's the product librarian for Aspen, by the way.
Sure. Yeah, we really tried to make them as flexible as possible, as you can see here with Payson. So libraries can do whatever their imagination conjures up. You can make them full width, you can make them narrow. And of course, like Jesse was saying for consortia, each individual library can have their own custom header, own custom look and feel. And as part of the implementation process, that's something we help you with. You're not 100% relying on figuring it out yourself. We really work closely with you to make sure that the header and then the entire interface matches the marketing and the look and feel of your library.
Thanks, Jordan. Our next example we have here is capital area district libraries. And we love how colorful and bright their interface is. And it's just really inviting for users to come in, whether they're ready to read or listen or stream. They have all access right at their fingertips. So it gives their users a seamless interaction where they can come in, whether they're looking for some titles for new teen books or even their library of things. We all get so excited about library of things, seeing those non-traditional items that they have available within the system. So this is just a great example of how libraries can showcase that they have hotspots, or maybe they have tools or musical instruments that you can use within the system. Aspen allows administrators or users with permission the ability to come in and upload images into Aspen itself. That way they can actually see what they're checking out. A lot of times I think about when my daughter, who's tiny, is looking at a tablet, I want to make sure they have the little bumper on there in case it gets dropped. So just a great example that you can actually see what the tablet looks like. Everything from recreational materials to instruments or even home improvement. It's just nice to be able to come in here and actually see the material that you're requesting or you want to check out. You can think about all those times you want to do home improvement, but maybe you don't have that specific tool. You don't want to spend X amount of dollars on it. You can see if your local library has it, that you can borrow a stud finder from the library. Our next example here is Roseville Library in California. Now, one of the things we wanted to highlight here is just the ability of creating system messages. We've all been there when we're working at the library. Maybe we have an unexpected closure. Maybe we have a new roof that's being put on or carpeting is being replaced, and you want to send a message out to your users that, something is happening. Well, Roseville is using this for a great way to just shout from the mountaintops that they now have an app available. And this is a good transition to talk about Aspen Lita. Aspen Lita is the companion app to Aspen Discovery. It's available to download in both Apple iOS and in Android and Google Store. And this is a nice way for your users to download the app and be able to do all things, including browsing and viewing titles in the collection, eContent, placing holds, checking due dates, and renewals if applicable. So they've used their message, for a really great way to kind of advertise and let people know that this app is available. If I scroll down, again, we love to show off these really good browse categories. You can see they have a spotlight for Creeping It Real. That makes me giggle every time I look at this one and see it. And of course, spooky books. So it's just a really nice way for the users to be able to come in here, see that information, and check out what's available. Our next example is McKinney Public Library, and they're in Texas. And McKinney is a great one to check out if you're looking to see all things that Aspen has available. You can see McKinney was one of the first libraries, I think, to roll out one of the headers, as Jordan was talking about earlier. And they've done a really nice job in tying in their colors and their themes to match all of that information. They also have a kids catalog, which is what we're going to show you next. And what they've done is they've created a way for their younger users to be able to come in and search and browse through the collection. So you'll notice there's just a little bit of change. You can notice those headers are just a little bit different on their main page versus their kids page. And this is a really nice way for them to be able to come in here, look through all types of curated collections, which I can appreciate for sure as a parent. They even have ways for you to come through and browse through different types of grade levels. So whether you have children in, a middle level or juvenile or even easy readers, this is a really nice way for them to be able to come in and browse. I really love they've done a separate one on leveled reading. So whether your library uses Lexile or accelerated reading, this allows them to come in and they can select a particular level and then come in and be able to browse through that information. So again, just giving your community more access and making it easy for them to explore what's available right within that collection.
Jesse, there's a question here. It was back in the Roseville one. On Roseville, there seems to be a system message or something at the top. The red one, there we go, at the very top.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit more about that? Share with us a little bit on that.
Yeah, we discussed the option to add in system messages, and this is just a great way where, we talked about Aspen Lita and bringing all of that information in right into the user. And the system message is just a great way for you to be able, no matter what kind of message you want to send out, give them a reminder about, the library being closed or something happening. This is just a really nice way to be able to do it.
And can that be per library in a consortium?
Yeah, absolutely. You can set that up. I know I can remember when I worked at the library, sometimes, whether you're getting, this happened once while I was there, so this always comes to play. We had our carpet replaced. So we had to shut down for a couple of days, and this was just a nice way. It was only our branch that had the carpet replaced. So, this is a great time where you can say the X branch is closed for these dates within the system. So it's just a really nice way that you can send that message out. It grabs their attention right at the top.
Thanks for reviewing that again.
Yeah. Our next example here is Jackson County Library Services, and they're out in Oregon. And they've done a really nice job. You can see they have a little special header there for the fall time where you can see that information below. And you can see, again, some of their nice curated collections. So they have a mystery festival coming up, so they can highlight some of the titles in there, some of the featured authors. I love this. We've seen this with some of our libraries where they highlight local authors. And again, we talked about the ability of being able to upload images. So some of our libraries have uploaded images of the authors that you can highlight. So it's just a really nice way for you to be able to customize that information right within the system. One of the features we want to talk about is just how easy it is to search within Aspen Discovery. There's many ways that you can bring integrations in. We saw the typical library catalog when we've performed searches. You can bring in articles and databases, whether you use EBSCOhost or EDS. You can tie in information with your events with SpringShare or Communico or Library Market. You can have your list be discoverable. You can have archives information, your website, and even make it more easy for your users to find exactly what they're looking for. So in this case, we're going to do, again, I'm going to stick to my Halloween search here. And this time we're just going to search for Halloween within the system. So again, it's giving me that predictive text. If I want to look for something particular, maybe I'm having a Halloween party and I want to look for some Halloween cookbooks, I can do that. If I just perform my regular search, you'll see here again, it brings back some results within the system where we can see those titles. As we scroll down a little bit, we can also see that explore more. Now, we saw that same thing when we were looking at Cuyahoga, where we saw that discover section. This again allows you to look at different things. So we can see they also have a Halloween craft going on. They have their calendar listing, Halloween, and then they also have news. So one nice feature here with Jackson County is their EDS integration, or their bringing in their EBSCO results within the system. So with EDS integration, we can see that research starter. We have our facets over here on the left, which allow us to narrow down. And it just allows you to bring in an easy way for your users to find that additional information within the system. You'll also notice here, it gives us that explore more area where, again, we can jump right back to the catalog, right into our events, or right into a list within the system. So again, we're making it as easy as possible for your users to discover all of the material that's available within the system. Our last example here before we jump into the account information is Des Moines Public Library. And this is a great example that Bill has shared, and we really like it. So if you think about, maybe your favorite authors that you like to read, or maybe even your favorite series, you're always looking for that next title that's coming out. And this is a great example of how Aspen really brings everything into one place. So we're going to use Alex Cross as our series that we're looking for. So again, you'll see we get that predictive text. We'll just do a general search in this case. So it brings back our Alex Cross series information. And as I scroll through, I can see some of those titles. Now, as I get down to explore more, it's bringing up a result. And this is a presentation happening at the library on Wednesday, April 10th with James Patterson. So how cool is that, that your search for that particular event brings back maybe your favorite author that's going to be available at the library. With the event integration, you can add it right to your events and track that information. So it's just a really, really great way. Again, you may not even know that, they were getting this event that was happening next April, but Aspen brings all of that information into one place.
So Jesse, when they add these to their events and they go to their account, they'll see this in the same area where they've checked out books or placed holds?
Yeah. And in just 1 minute, we're going to jump over to the model site and we'll show you where you can see all of your checkouts and your holds and all of your information, account preferences, and customizing things within the system. And again, with events, if you subscribe to Communico's Attend, Spring Shares events, as well as library markets, library calendar, those can all be integrated right within Aspen Discovery. All right, we finally made it to our model site where we'll show you just a little bit of what it looks like to the end user when they log into their account. So in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see a little button where if they're logging in for the first time, they'll be able to enter in their credentials, whether your library uses a card number and PIN or username and password that can easily be set up so your users can log into the system. Once they log in, they'll be able to view all of their material, checked out titles, both their physical and eContent. So in our example here, we can see that Sam has a couple titles that are checked out, one physical material, and then of course one via Overdrive. So the eContent integration with the major vendors, Overdrive, Hoopla, Cloud Library, and Access 360 allow your users to see that information right within their checked out titles. What's really nice, and I always say this is great for the end user, it will also tie into their reading history. So if your library allows them to collect that information, Aspen gives them the option to opt in. So they can opt in to viewing their information, and you can see right up top, there's my Overdrive magazine within the system. And then of course I can see some of my past checkouts, which include both ebooks, magazines, and of course physical print. So you can see some of the Access 360 there as well. The nice thing about your holds is that you can manage everything in one place here as well. So whether it's your physical holds that are ready for pickup, or you're looking to see where you're at on that Overdrive list or Cloud Library list, you can view all of that information in one place. Holds management allows the user to really drive kind of what they're waiting for If they want to cancel it, maybe they got a copy somewhere else, or they want to place a freeze on it because maybe they have too many holds, or maybe they're going on an extended vacation, they can do that all in one place. They'll also get this really neat feature, which is called While You Wait. And that will give them some suggestions for titles that they may like while they're waiting for that particular title to come in on hold. At the bottom of the screen, they'll also have some options to do these all in one swoop. So again, if you're a person that has lots of holds, this is really a nice way for you to be able to cancel them or freeze them or thaw them all at once. You'll also see ways for the user to view their library card. Aspen provides a digital library card for them. This also is a good opportunity for us to talk a little bit about linked cards. Linked cards is a nice way for your patron or customer to be able to manage anyone in their family, or maybe anyone that they're caring for, or maybe a spouse or partner. What linked counts does is it takes it away from the ILS. So this is agnostic from the ILS you're on, but it allows users to come in and essentially tie together their accounts. So in here, you'll be able to see the linked accounts for my login. That allows me to view information for Tina and Missy. And I can also see other accounts who have my card linked. So whether you have children or you care for maybe a parent, or you want to pick up holds for your partner as you're coming home from work, this is a really nice way to be able to manage all of that information at one place. Aspen empowers the user to be able to remove this information at any time, and will even give them a notification letting them know essentially, that somebody has linked their account. So it's a really nice way for them to be able to come in and manage that information. As we're wrapping things up here, we'll talk about some of the other great features like lists, which is a really nice way for the user to be able to come in and keep track of things. So if you have a favorite hobby, you can come in here. You can add in both physical and e-content material. You can email or print off a list, or even generate citations if you're working on something specific. You'll also see ways to save your searches, which is huge, because again, if you have a favorite topic or series or even author, this is a really nice way for you to be able to save that and then easily jump back into that information. You'll even see, as we mentioned before, your events. So if you've saved any events in the system, we can see upcoming events, and then we can also see past events or all events that we have saved within the system. If they do require registration, you can just jump right out to the event platform and double check your information. So again, just a nice place to see all of that information in one swoop. And of course, the last thing we'll hit on is we saw these browse categories across the board on all of the examples we showed you. But now here's one cool feature to wrap things up with. Now, when the user is logged in, they'll be able to see customized browse categories for them. How many times do you think about, wow, I wish I was notified when Kimberly McCreet had a new title? Or, ooh, I really wish I knew when there was a new book in the series for Alex Cross. You can save that, and Aspen will give you those recommendations, and they'll even show you when new titles are in by giving it a little banner within the corner. So just a nice way that users can customize that information. They even have the ability to hide categories that they might not be interested in. And of course, at any time, bring those browse hidden categories back. So lots of customizations that are available.
Well, Jesse, there's a couple of questions.
Sure.
The first one is on the While You Wait. Where were those titles pulled from? And then Jesse or Jordan, if either one of y'all want to answer that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's actually a custom Aspen algorithm. It's a little bit better than having something pulled from Novelist or one of those other third-party providers, because it provides recommendations across all Aspen materials. So not just books, like a lot of those only do books, it'll also do recommendations for movies. It's also customized to age group for exactly what you're looking at. So it's something that we've worked really hard on to make sure those While You Wait recommendations are good for the patron, don't include anything they've already read, read, that kind of thing. So yeah, that just comes automatically with Aspen. You don't need anything else.
And then Jesse, I have another one too. If you go back to Cuyahoga
Yeah.
and then go to the main page, there were looked like some things were renamed. I'm talking on the main page with the browse categories.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk a little bit, George, if you want to kind of comment on the translations, the languages and stuff that folks can do, and maybe guide her in this right spot you want to see.
Sure. I think the question was about noticing the difference in the Explore More bar, because I think when you search Cuyahoga, it'll be called Discover More. And then in most of the other sites, it's called Explore More. And what Cuyahoga has done a lot of is use our custom translations to be able to customize any of the language in Aspen. So even in English, you can change the name of anything that you want. And actually translations, I don't think we touched on it, are really big in Aspen. You can pull them in from the community, so you don't have to translate everything yourself. We work as a community of Aspen users on our base level translation, so you can just turn on Spanish. But then if there's a word you don't like, you can add your own custom layer of translations on top of that, and that translation will never be changed. But for community translations, they're free. We all work on them together, and then they're always customizable to your patrons' needs.
So if a library, rather than Overdrive, they want to change that to Libby, they can change that to Libby.
Absolutely. It can be books and more. It can be all the things. It can be whatever you want.
Excellent. I think that was the questions I saw.
All right. Well, if you've been following us in this series of Pathways to Open Source, our next couple webinars that are coming up, you can join Jordan for accessibility and usability with Aspen Discovery on Thursday, November 16th from 3:30 to 4 Eastern Time. And then in December, Morgan and Donna will be talking about what to expect when implementing Koha and Aspen Discovery together on Wednesday, December 6th from 1 to 1:30 p.m. Well, thank you all for joining us today. If you have questions, Bill's contact information is up there for you. That QR code will take you right to his scheduling page if you're interested in setting up a time to meet and talk about what Aspen can do for your library. And as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out and let us know. And we look forward to talking more with you. Bye. Thanks, y'all.